Little Ford tractor. I know it's early in the morning and it's cool out here, but I'm going to warn you, I've got a can of ether in my hand and I'm not afraid to use it. So you will do well to crank. I'll give you that opportunity. In neutral, some throttle. And you ain't even making a noise like you even want to crank. So, I'm not killing my battery over that. Go. One water hemp plant right there. It's taller than the beans. Last year, these beans would have been canopied over by now with the water hemp, and the beans are still too small to spray. And some little creatures eating all of these. Hope you enjoyed them. Here now it's like 9:25. This field measures right at 2 acres, and started over there. Of course, I did an end dress from that corner. The way this field has this circular shape to it, and you'll see it when we get to the other end. So I decided to go ahead and end dress it, because with that angle down there, you want to keep the tractor straight. You don't want to, I learned years ago, you don't want to try to turn to have the boom come out lined up with the edge of the field. You keep the tractor straight, you do an end dress across there, and you'll get the coverage. Well, I wanted to share with you how well this worked out. It had to be God. Get something out of here. Wonderful device, tape measure. See? I sat down and figured out years ago, planting on a 14-inch row, that, let's say I was working from that side of the field, I'd look at that tire I'd stop at the other end and look at the row that tire was in, and I would count 6 rows over. And I would look at it and get a visual on it, find some landmark, a rock or just something that I could fix my eye on while I was turning the tractor around. And then I would put that tire in between the 6th and the 7th row, and I had about 2 inches of overlap. Now if I went to the next row, I'd have about a 2-inch gap. So when the beams are up and you can see your rows, it's simple, real simple. You just follow the rows. But I got to thinking about this, said, man, I ain't got no beams out here to follow. How am I gonna do this? Well, I got out this tape measure and did some real serious measuring, and I knew I was gonna have tire marks, the rear tire, that thing right there. And I figured out that from the outside of the tire over here to the last tire mark over there, I needed 80 inches. And then I stumbled on something else. 14-inch rows, 14 times 6, 84. And I realized that's where I got that 2-inch overlap. So I measured it carefully. I kept pulling this thing out, kept doing it. I'd do it about 3 times and then check myself. And I've got a really good eye for distance. I mean, I can call something, but I needed to look at this repeatedly with this tape measure laying on the ground pulled out at 80 inches. And I saw what that was and just kind of memorized it. And then it got really easy. I found out that the tire marks from planting and the tire marks from the planter actually lined up at 81 inches. So this let me figure it all out to see, you know, how to get the spacing right. I've got a little bit of overlap. I'd rather have the overlap than the skip. So I just thought I'd share with you how that worked out for me. You know, a lot of people said, you know, tie a rock out there on the end of the boom and drag it to make a mark. Well, why tie a rock on that to drag it to make a mark when it's going to mess with the boom, causing it to do stuff like that, when this wonderful thing called a tractor tire has already made a mark for me. Had to be God to make it work out like that for me. It's just like the way the width of the planter worked out on this tractor, to where I could take that front tire and follow the tire track left by the planter and have the row spacing come out. Well, let's roll. I got to get to work today. Cigar shop. I'm closing tonight. That space, we'll be following that tire mark right there. This soil type right in here is sand. It's sand for about a foot down. That over there is red clay, that spot there. And as you start over the knoll on this field over here, you actually get into some really good soil over there. That little spot has made a lot of real pretty beans in the past. This sand, well, it's always tried, but never done well. I put all that fertilizer out here on it. I went ahead and got 850 pounds and did the whole field with it, but it worked out to about 425 pounds to the acre. So I'm hoping the fertilizer is going to make some beans in that sand. All right, got a top right there. Okay, that's all. Looking at that tire mark, and I look over, and that's the tire mark over there I want to get back in. So I'll make a turn. keep my eye on it so I don't lose it. And it's that one right there. Stop so the corner of the boom is right there at the edge of the field. Turn it on and go. Now this time, right beside that tire mark, works out to that 80 inches. The camera's going to distort it, so it's not going to look through to you, the viewer. But if I stopped the tractor right now and took that tape measure and measured it, I'd be within 2 inches. I've done it. To check myself on this. This chemical is way too expensive by my thinking to come out here and waste it. But in the fields over by the house that were planted back on May 24th and then sprayed 2 days later, I am really, really impressed with the results. So I just keep my eye fixed on that tire mark over there and keep running a parallel line to it, and it all works out. Love having my control right there where I can get to it. Used to be reaching back here. God, that hurt. Alright, that's my tire mark. That's the one I want to pick up right over there. So I've got my eye on it, and I'll make my turn. Turns in the field. Alright. When you turn on a sprayer, you got to give it a minute for the pressure, well, not a whole minute, but a few seconds for the pressure to come up on the boom. This is going to actually finish this field. Now, I got a heavy lap over here. It's what it is or what it is. They never work out perfect when you get to the end of it. But that's my tire mark I'm following right there. Stop. Alright, that finishes the field. I got just about an acre's worth of chemical left in the tank. And the field I'm headed towards now has about 2.5 acres in it. 2.25 acres in it that has not been sprayed. And it is the last that has not been sprayed. Oh, I got a good feeling about this field this year. With the fertilizer, the pre-emergent, to keep the weeds from coming back in this thing and robbing the soybeans of water and, you know, what little bit of nutrients are out here. And we limed this really heavy, tons of the acre on this field. I think I'm going to get to see this field do something nice this year. Last year I planted this field first and the deer went on it, and they had a buffet, invited friends and family, and they just devastated the whole field. There's a video with my depression about the thing. So this year this field's planted last. I've got some deer pressure on some field, you know, little spots, nothing to get upset about. I asked God to feed the deer a little bit. They got to eat too, but give me a whole bunch too. And I got a good feeling and faith on that. Let's go up and get rid of this spray, and then I got to get ready to go to the cigar shop.